Okay, so we move to our third speaker. Her name is Sophie Parienti. Many of you might already know her, but you don't know enough. She is dedicated 100% to the well-being of the people around her and just anybody that literally crosses her path. Like literally, I've seen that. She's the editor of YOGI Times, and she's a relationship communication coach. She's also a very good friend, and I've been told she was a sister from a previous life. We don't know about that, but whatever. I've seen her transforming or impacting people's life big time. So I would like for all of you to get a little taste of her because she's wonderful. Welcome, Sophie.
Hi everyone. So I'm very excited to be able to talk about dedication and happification. My dedication lays in the realm of relationship. So when Abby and Vale asked me to talk tonight, I was very excited about taking 25 years of study of relationship and happiness and condense it into a 7-minute speech. So that's a little bit of a challenge, but I'll try to do that. So anyway, my idea of doing a speech tonight is to give you a gift. Something that you can take home tonight and keep, hopefully, for your life. But before I give you this gift, I want to tell you a little story, a short story. Just a few weeks before I got married to this wonderful man over there, I got a phone call from my mother, who was calling me to ask me what did I want for my wedding gift. Just before I could answer her question, I got a call waiting, and it was my dad on the other line asking me, what do you want for your wedding gift? So, the fact that they were calling at the same time, on-call waiting, wasn't a surprise to me, because 9 times out of 10, when my mom would call, my dad would call. So before call waiting, they would call within a few minutes of each other. And after call waiting started to happen, they would call on the same time. Mind you, they had been separated for 35 years, and they lived 1,000 miles away from each other. So this is what I call the power of love. That means even after all those years and the physical separation, the fact that they were connecting with their daughter was making them connect together. So fast forward a few weeks, I actually asked them, so fast forward a few weeks, the gift that I asked my parents at that moment was, could you both leave your life and your partner behind and come to be at my wedding so that I could, for the first time in my life, see both of you in the same room at the same time. My parents divorced when I was 18 months old, and I never got to see them at the same time in the same room together. So, hence my dedication to happification in relationship. So fast forward a few weeks, my parents actually show up at my door together, taking a flight and being there for me for 10 days over the course of the wedding. So that's what I call the power of love. But then when they were there, I got to challenge them a little bit, and I asked them this question. I said, can I ask both of you, why did you end up getting divorced? And so there was the 3 of us. I sat them down and they started looking at each other. And then my mom started saying that she got divorced because she thought my dad wanted to get a divorce. He wanted to get out of the relationship. And then my dad looked at her and said, well, I thought you wanted to get out of the relationship. And I was in tears looking at them and realizing that 35 years had gone by and they were still into the story that one of the other wanted to get divorced. So they had never communicated about it, and everything went on, and they never talked about it for 35 years. But it created a lot of suffering for them and for their children. So that story is just to tell you a little bit about the gift that I'm going to give you tonight. The gift is, do you want to be right or do you want to be happy? I found out that my parents wanted to be right most of their life, and they really missed on the fact that they could have been happy regardless of they stayed together or not. They could have still be happy independently. So here's the real gift that I want to give you tonight, is that what I witnessed looking at my parents arguing with each other at that time is the ego at work. So we want to be right to confirm our stories. We look for evidence to make our stories true, and we create separation from the whole. What I call the whole is the energy of love. So what I want to give you tonight is the ability to start practicing and connecting with your observer. The inside inner knowing called the observer that will allow you to know when you are in your ego or when you are in your consciousness. And I'm going to give you those little red flags, very easy to remember. Disappointment, anger, frustration, irritation, agitation, sadness, all falls into one captain emotion called fear. And most fear are based on stories. Stories that you've created in your childhood. There's 4 different types of stories building. One is in what we call the core belief, the belief that you've built in your childhood with your parents. The other ones are the genetic beliefs, the beliefs that have been transmitted genetically. The other one are historical beliefs that comes from the place you were born, raised, the story of your country. And the other one, a little bit harder to identify, are the soul beliefs, the one that if you believe in reincarnation, you've been carrying on all along your lives. So practicing the observer goes like this. Within the course of a day, within the course of an hour or a minute, you can start noticing when you are in your ego or when you are in your consciousness. And when you're in your consciousness, you're experiencing emotion of gratitude, calmness, serenity, compassion, peacefulness, and joyfulness. And then you're gravitating in an energy of love. And when you're there, you are actually your authentic self. You are your pure self. You are the one that you were meant to be, and not the one that you end up becoming due to all your stories. That makes sense? So my question is, how to maintain the quality of exchange between two people? Most people go through trouble in relationship, any kind of relationship, as a couple, with parents, in business, because they forget one thing. They forget that we have the choice to entertain that relationship or not. We have the choice to be in that relationship or not. So to maintain the quality of exchange between the two people, we have to remember our gratefulness that those people are actually spending time with us. When I talk about the stories, the idea here is start finding your stories. We have such a thing as 10 to 15,000 stories being run all the time in our head. Some are historical, some come from our country, some come from our family lineage, some stories we created along our life, and we believe them to be true. Therefore, we're looking for evidence in other people that those stories are true. So my invitation to you is find your stories and ask yourself each time, is this story in particular helping me right now to be happy in this relationship? And if that story doesn't gel with you anymore, then get rid of the story. Most relationships do not work, not because of incompatibility, not because of money, not even because of betrayal or infidelity, but because people take each other for granted. This seems simple, but it's huge. It's huge. If you can start looking at each relationship in your life, with your children, with your family, with your business partners, with your partner in life, and you realize that at any moment that person could be taken away, then you would look at each moment and be grateful that they are by your side. and then you would stop, listening to your stories and making them wrong and blame them. So the question is, do you want to live above or below the line? Consciousness, you're learning and you're growing. Ego, you're blaming and you're suffering. Love in the air, breathe deeply.
So, have you guys learned anything? Shall I pick one of you and have them repeat what she said? No, but it always sounds everything like so simple. Then in the real life, it's not so simple. But actually, I think when you start to think about it, it becomes much simpler and simpler and simpler. Does any of you have a question for this expert in communication? Yes. What is the other microphone? Do we have another microphone?
Hi, thank you so much for your speech, and it was really wonderful. Thank you, great lesson learned. Anyway, I'm sure. But how, can you please give us a very practical example? How can we get rid of our stories?
Okay, so the practical example, not just an example, but I'll give you a few words. Anytime you use the word should, could, at least, you're in your story. It sounds so simple, but it's really, really true. It's anytime you say, oh, they should have, or, they could have at least, you're in your story. You're hearing a story that it should have been a certain way. And what you're doing is you're fighting reality, because the reality shows you that it is the way it is, regardless if you like it or not. Yeah, it's not that it should or shouldn't, it is the way it is. And if you can start looking at the fact that we all of us live in complete different realities, the only thing that you can know for sure is real. For example, and we could debate that it's not real, it's energy compact together, but if you look at this table, we can all agree that this table is made out of metal. So if
Bad metal.
So the example is that this entire room of people cannot argue that it's made out of metal. If I say this table is made out of metal, everyone is going to say yes. And we're all whole, we're all in agreement. But if I start saying this really beautiful table is made out of metal, Valley could start arguing and say, well, not so beautiful, it's arguable, it's just whatever. She could start coming up with labels, words such as not so beautiful or average. As soon as you start putting labels into a conversation, you're actually throwing your own reality into it. Do you get that? So how do you get rid of your story? Is that you start removing all the labels that you're using in your vocabulary. You start all the things that are, cute, great, cute, great, mean, all those words that we teach kids from the beginning, shy, all those words have created your stories. If you're being told as a child that you're shy, or you're beautiful, or you're clumsy, or you're lazy, you're starting to build that person's story. And therefore, what they will do, all their life, they will look for the evidence in all the relationships that they will have in their life, they will look for the evidence that they are that. So in order to get rid of conflict in your life and make your life so much easier, you get rid of labels, you get rid of stories, and you just enter the other person's reality. So you no longer make it about yourself, you make it about the other person. And in relationship, it works wonderfully. It works wonderfully. If you start looking at your partner, and the partner blames you about something, you look back at your partner and it says, and how does that feel when you see that I'm doing that? And immediately you enter their reality. You don't take it for something that belongs to you because it's not your own reality. That makes sense?
we go down.
It's coming up, coming up.
Iya, bilangin.
Any more questions?
Kamu kena gini bicara.
No, so just start working on your stories. Good luck, there's thousands and thousands of them. But I just want to say something. Now that you're in the awareness of it, watch what happened tomorrow when you talk to each other. Watch what happened when you talk to people around you. And then when you start listening to people around you, and you'll be catching up some serious stories there. You'll be amazed, and you'll be amazed of your own stories and other people's stories. Thank you.
So we're moving on to our fourth speaker, who is Budi Pradono. He is one of the leading architects of Indonesia, young but powerful. He is also very good